Hey guys, what's up? It's Raven and
Chef Tony.
And today we are in her house. This is my mom, in case you guys don't know. We are in my parents' house because today we are going to be doing another refrigerator organization and stocking video. You guys might remember that I helped my mom organize her fridge. It was like a few years ago at this point. Definitely go and watch that video if you haven't seen it. But unfortunately, that refrigerator that we organized died and she had to get a brand new fridge. So this is a different fridge with a different configuration, which means it needs a whole new set of organization. But also in this video, we're actually going to be stocking the fridge. So make sure you watch to the end to see the whole stocking process as well. I'll let my mom tell you guys about her new fancy fridge and everything.
It's not that fancy, it's actually pretty simple. So I loved my old fridge, and it's a long and sad story about how I was on life support and how it eventually died and we had to get a new one. But I'm really excited to organize this new refrigerator. Like Raven said, it's got a different configuration, so we're gonna need to move things around a bit, and I needed to purchase some additional items. But I have basically 3 goals in mind for this fridge organization. And the first one is to inspire me to continue to eat healthier. And for me, that means more fresh foods, and I want the fresh foods to last longer. I want to be able to find them. Number 2 is to have it organized so that I can find things, and also to have it kind of aesthetically look good. Number 3 is to make sure that I have as little impact on the environment as possible, that I do my little part to protect the environment. And for me, that means more reusable items, more glass items, less plastic. You know, I would like to totally eliminate plastic, but unfortunately, that's not possible. So I want to use as many eco-friendly products as possible. I'm excited to get started on this. Okay, here's the before. It is a mess. Everything is crammed in there willy-nilly. I'm not going to be able to find a thing. I'm really anxious to get everything put into place so that I can see what kind of food I have and make sure that I can find everything, and with Raven's help, we're gonna do that. What we need to do first, obviously, is take everything out of here and wipe down the fridge. So I'm gonna get started doing that. In this fridge, I only have 2 crisper drawers. In the last fridge, I had 4, plus I had a place for eggs. So I'm really gonna be utilizing the shelf space because, as you can see, I have a lot of produce and a lot of veggies and fruit to store. Another thing about this fridge is it doesn't have the water in the door. It basically has a beverage center, so you can get water here or infused water here. The most special thing to me about this fridge is it has flex drawers, which means these drawers at the bottom can be used for freezer space, or this side can be used as a freezer. It can be used as beverage storage. It can be used for produce or meat. Each one has a separate setting as far as temperature, and I'm gonna be setting this up as a beverage center. The freezer size is much smaller than what we're used to having, but I realized that I was really just storing a lot of junk in the freezer as far as food that we're gonna eat within a month. This is plenty of space for ice cream and frozen meats and snacks and stuff. Any bulky items, I'll just store in the outside garage. Like I got a turkey out there right now. So if I change my mind or there comes a time when I need more freezer space, I can always move this setting back to freezer and use it as a freezer instead of beverage or deli or whatever.
So the fridge is cleared out. Obviously, we're about to start getting to the organizing, but in order to organize, you need containers. If you follow me on TikTok, you know that I love a good container for organizing the fridge. I personally use a lot of these types of things in my fridge, so you guys may have already seen them. For example, this egg holder, it's like a cute little clear egg container. I have this in my fridge. I also have these produce bins, which are super versatile. There's like different ways that you can configure them for certain types of produce. We'll show you more on that later, but I really like these in my fridge. And I also have just a variety of containers like this, which can come in handy for like deli storage, so meats and cheeses and stuff like that. Just some cute matching sets of clear containers so you can see everything that you have. Like I said, if you guys watch my content, you've probably already seen some of this stuff, and I've had it linked in my Amazon storefront. But my mom does different things with her fridge. She buys different types of food. She does a lot more different types of cooking, so she needed different types of containers.
I do a lot of cooking with fresh ingredients, so what I plan to do with these mason jar containers is to basically prep some salads, prep some veggies, prep the fruits, and store them in these glass containers. The thing I love about the mason jars is they're really versatile, and you can use them in your pantry, you can use them for non-food storage, you can use them for a lot of different things, and they last forever. The only things I've ever had to change out are the lids. The reason I change out the lids is all the mason jars come with metal lids because it's used for canning typically. And those lids are functional, but they tend to go rusty, they tend to get gross. So I ordered these cute little Ball brand wooden lids that are airtight. They look cute and they are functional. Plus, I like these plastic lids. They come in, I think, gray, black, and white, and I've chosen to get white. They're super airtight and you can throw them in the dishwasher, unlike the metal lids that you get.
So I will have these lids and everything linked down below in the description box in my Amazon storefront.
For my freezer storage, I really like using reusable bags. I have some stasher bags, but I'm also going to try these reusable freezer bags I got off of Amazon. I don't have a bunch of stuff to organize in the freezer, but you'll see how I use these. I also want to call out these reusable produce bags, which come in super handy because I really hate using all those plastic bags that you get at the grocery store. Since I buy a lot of produce, I may use 20 or so of those plastic bags. These, I put my produce in when I'm at the store. When I bring them home, after they get dirty, you can just toss them in the wash and start fresh for your next grocery shopping. You can find these at Amazon, and I'll let Raven know what the link is so she can link them down below too. For the beverage center, I'm gonna use these organizers for wine and this organizer for canned drinks.
And once again, everything will be linked down below. Now to get to the actual organizing. First thing that I'm gonna do is basically empty out all of these bins that were used last time we organized her old fridge. So she is still gonna use these bins. We're basically just kind of like adding more different stuff to it, but we're not gonna use it like this. This stuff is kind of just thrown in here right now. So everything needs to be taken out. Some of these bins might need to be cleaned out even, and then we're gonna reconfigure how the food is gonna go back in them. I always recommend starting with your empty containers, whether you're organizing your pantry or your bathroom cabinet or your refrigerator, whatever it is. Take your empty containers and put them in place on the shelf to see how the containers are gonna fit and how you want everything. Then decide what you're gonna really put in each container, but it's good to get an idea of how everything is gonna actually be in there before you start doing it. Here is my proposed configuration as far as just putting the empty containers into place. We've got these jars stacked here. Good old Lazy Susan is always good to have. Eggs are here. These containers, some containers here. Put some containers inside the drawer to help divide things out into sections. Down in the beverage center, put those specific can holders and the wine holders down here. This might get changed around, but at least now we know how everything fits in here and we can kind of start filling it in.
I really want to start with the meat and cheese because I want to get this back into the fridge as soon as possible. So I thought this container would be great for bacon, and put it in there. These containers are really handy, but they're not really airtight when you start using meat out of them. So I'm gonna put my deli meat into this container. I want to put this turkey side by side with the pepper turkey. And for these little ones, I want to combine all my shredded cheese. Typically, I'll leave it in this bag until it's open and then put it in, add it to the plastic bag. The key to these is you have to press them down all the way before you snap the lids. So that's part of my meat and cheese collection. So I already have this container that I used for bulk cheeses before, so I am just going to put it in that. This has never been opened. Once it gets open, I'll probably put it in a mason jar. And although it's not cheese, sour cream, I usually like to keep that in my bulk cheese section.
Next easy thing to put away is eggs.
bright idea to use these labeled condiment bottles, and refilling them was a pain in the butt. They jiggled around and clanked around on the door. So although they were very beautiful, they were not very functional. I just decided to keep my most used condiments in the door, like ketchup, mayo, mustard, barbecue sauce, and the little used condiments, actually putting them here in the Lazy Susan. Perfect.
So obviously this is not super cute and aesthetic compared to the bottle she had last time, but it's more functional. If I can make a suggestion, if you did want to have aesthetic bottles, unfortunately you would have to use plastic and get squeeze bottles with a bigger opening.
I went through the plastic squeeze bottle phase.
These are like, to me, it would be really annoying to not only refill this small thing, but also to like get it out.
So I'm gonna put the stuff that I use on a daily basis inside the fridge beverage center. Milk, coffee creamer.
So this is just the first layer of the door, the little small door, without opening the whole entire fridge. And then the other stuff is like right behind it. Why did you put them like that? What kind of Virgo are you?
It's fine.
It's not fine.
There we go. Okay, I'm gonna start washing and prepping my fruit for storage, and maybe making a couple of stacked salads. I like to slice them instead of chopping them, because even if they're already frozen, if I need chopped, I can just turn the slices into dices. Last thing I prepped were these green beans, and they go bad so fast I realized it's better to just steam them first before storing them. And I'm gonna store some in the fridge just for a dinner, and the rest are gonna go into a freezer bag. These actually work pretty good. I like the stasher bags, but they're really hard to open and close. You can label them if you want to, but what I like about these is they're clear and I can see what's in them. So I'm gonna start making my salads. I'm gonna make at least 4 because we typically eat a salad every night, and I'd like to get in the habit of eating more for lunch too. So I'm just gonna put my favorite salad ingredients, and I've got some drained chickpeas that I'm gonna put into the bottom of a couple of jars. A lot of inspiration for this style of prepping and storing your fresh fruit and produce came from Instagram creator Kristen Hong. She has a new book called Fridge Love, which I couldn't resist buying. She is what you call a nutritarian. I'm not really sure what that means, but it's eating a lot of fresh stuff. But what I got out of this book, and I've read through most of it, it's really informative. It tells you like how to store your food. She also tells you how to care for and maintain your refrigerator, which is important. But the thing that really inspired me from this book is that if you're gonna eat healthy and you're making a commitment to a healthier lifestyle, you got to make that a priority, and it starts with your refrigerator. The idea is that when you open your refrigerator and you see all these nice, healthy, some of them pre-prepped foods, you're gonna be more inspired to eat the healthy foods. You're gonna be more inspired to cook with the healthy ingredients. If I don't have to chop up onions and chop up peppers in order to make a stir fry, then I'm gonna be more likely to fix me something to eat rather than to go out and get some fast food or go eat some restaurant food. So I really love this book. Her name is Kristen Hong, and it's called Fridge Love. Now, my fridge ain't gonna look like this, but it's gonna look a whole lot better than it was. With the salads, I've already filled these 2 jars with chickpeas because that's one of my favorite salad ingredients. This one, I'm gonna put, the next layer is gonna be fresh baby spinach in each jar. This is gonna be a complete salad for 2 people. And then I'm gonna put some shredded red cabbage. Now I'm gonna put some chopped yellow and orange and red bell peppers. If you were taking this with you on the go, I'm not. Lots of times they put the dressing in, the dressing goes to the bottom. Then I like to put carrots. So the last ingredient is some chopped cherry tomatoes. I just think the cherry tomatoes taste a lot fresher than the whole chopped tomatoes. That's it for these two salads. Now I could add my shredded cheese to the salad, or it's really nothing to prep. I've already got my cheese shredded, so I can add it when I get ready to eat my salad, or add my nuts or whatever toppings I want. But this is the salad itself. For the next salad, I'm actually gonna start with the shredded cabbage first. I think the idea is that you start with the sturdier ingredients.
The juicy ingredients go on top so it doesn't get like squished.
And then I've got some baby romaine lettuce that I'll just chop up. Some shredded carrots. Put some snow peas in there.
So when you take the time to do all of this at once, you use up everything. Everything either goes in the salad or in its own jar, and you don't have stuff just left in the little bag. You're done with this, you throw it away.
If push comes to shove, tonight for dinner, I'll just throw these vegetables in whatever I'm cooking. I'll just put it in a bowl that's open in the fridge because it's gonna be tonight. Last thing is going to be some chopped cucumbers. Now I'm going to put this stuff in the beverage center. I've got juice and lemonade. They can go right here.
As for the freezer, it's a small space and it's already pretty good as is. This is the ice, kind of cool. 2 different kinds of ice and then my own little custom ice mold. The main area that we're fixing is just this drawer here.
I mentioned before that I like the stasher bags. These are really expensive, and I guess I thought it would be cute to get different colors, but lots of times it's hard to see what's in them. Plus they're kind of hard to open. I mean, how do you do that? So that's what I don't like about them. I get frustrated. If you finally can get them open, I think I'm gonna like using these a lot better. There we go. It's closed. Good. Usually use smaller portions because I'll put it with something else. So I'll probably put a couple of small bags of mixed vegetables.
So off camera, we just went ahead and filled and switched all of the ones, like she said, this other brand that she didn't really like and the color was hard to see. Just dump those out into the new ones that are better, as well as anything else that needed to be bagged up and taken out of its original packaging. So now everything is in a matching bag, nice and sealed and visible.
Let's put it in the freezer, see how it fits. I would like to just stack these things upright like this. Put the ones in the front so you can see the ice cream. That is perfect. So that's all our frozen vegetables and some fruits for smoothies and stuff. Snacks, Ziya snacks, pop-out snacks, ice cream. And this drawer I don't really need to do anything to. It's a bunch of foods. Ta-da! So everything has been put away and used. So I only have one small pile of ingredients that I'm going to cook with today, and everything else has been put into the fridge. Here's my final fridge. I love it. It looks so good. The frequently used things that I need out of the door, the milk and the coffee creamer are here, along with the butter and the backstock of butter. On this door, frequently used condiments and also leftovers. But the rest of the fridge is completely stocked and prepped, either ready to eat or ready to cook. I've got vegetables, mushrooms, cucumbers, carrots, shredded carrots, green beans, sugar snap peas, lettuce, blackberries, strawberries, lemons, limes, eggs, cherry tomatoes, and broccoli, grapes, and cherries. Larger quantities of vegetables, zucchini, Brussels sprouts, shredded peppers, shredded cabbage, parsley. So these are the lesser used condiments. I still use them, but not as often as the stuff that's on the door. Yogurt, cheese, then there's bulk cheeses and some other dairy products like sour cream. Right here we have the deli meat and cheese and bacon, and 4 jarred salads ready to go. In this drawer I have a couple of containers of spinach and herbs and also some avocados. In this drawer we have apples and oranges. We eat a lot of those. That's it for the fridge. In the freezer, we have our snacks on the door. Got some popsicles and a little thing of ice cream. In the middle drawer, I have my frozen fruits and vegetables in reusable freezer bags, and also some ice cream. And this drawer holds all of our meats and seafood frozen. For the beverage center, which is my favorite part, we have juice and lemonade on the door, juice for Ziya, the coffee I like to keep cold, ginger ale that Alan drinks, and sparkling water that I drink. This pull-out drawer has wine and beer, and this bottom drawer holds the other type of tea and sparkling water that I like to drink.